It's Memorial Day, a time for remembering those who made the ultimate sacrifice for us. And to current and former members of the armed services, we thank you for your service. And not to diminish the solemnity of the holiday, it has become one of cookouts and grilling and meeting up with friends. So in this video, I wanted to show you my vintage Coleman stove. And the only reason I'm showing it is because it is vintage, it's not like ones today, and lighting it might not be obvious. So for anyone with a similar stove, I wanted to show you how it's done. This is the Coleman model TX850L camp stove. And while the outside of it has seen better days, the inside is perfectly intact and operates great. I've had this for about 15 years and I've always wanted to restore it to its original splendor, but I've never gotten around to it. But because I will be grilling today, I decided to break this out and to cook on it. Like I said, getting the stove to light isn't intuitive. Well, lighting it is, you just use a match or a electric lighter, but getting the parts together isn't intuitive. So I wanted to show you that. What's great about these old stoves is how compact and well thought out they are. I have a brand new one, and I don't know if it's quite as good as this one in its design. It comes with a handle, so you can carry it. It's got a clasp, doesn't quite make it to the clasping stage, and it's got built-in legs. The legs actually hold everything together when it's closed, and when you open them up, provides a nice base on the bottom. So let's open it up and see what we've got inside. The legs fold out and under. Always found it's easy to set one leg down and then put the other. We then unclasp it and lift up the top. As you can see, it's a 2-burner stove. It's got a rack to put things on. The top comes with these wind fins that you put out to the side, and it has a lock to hold it in place. And that way the top won't come crashing down on the bottom in the event of a breeze. This was made in the 1960s, so I would consider that vintage. And you can even read the instructions on it still. As I said, it's the model TX850L 2-burner cook stove. It comes with 2 attachments to attach to a propane tank, so you can have both burners working. And while you can use the 20-pound tanks, I've got mini tanks. These are propane tanks, 1 pound. I bought them from Walmart years ago. They used to come in a twin pack for $5. So I've got a bunch of these tanks stored away. You could always refill them with a big 20-pound tank as well. You need a special nozzle to fit onto the tank that this can then screw into, but you can refill these. So the ones that I've used over the years, I have set aside for that refilling. So to light the stove, you take the plastic cap off, and it's got the typical attachment on top. And you take one of your nozzles. You make sure that that valve is closed here. It's got the off and on, so that's off. So now that would open it all the way up. So you close that down. And then you screw it onto your tank. Okay, the nozzle's now on. Now comes the tricky part. On each side of the grill, you've got a port. And while you might think you insert the attachment in and then screw it in, you actually don't. This was the non-intuitive part. It actually just sits right in there, just like that. It just slides in, and then with your gas can attached, you open up the gas just a little bit so that it starts to flow through, and then you light it. So we'll just attach our gas can here, like that. And now we'll open up the gas just a little, and you can hear the gas coming out. And now we'll come over here and we'll light. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's lit. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side and start cooking some burgers. As the diagram on the stovetop shows, it hooks it up to a bulk tank, and that might be optimal with attaching a hose to either side, because the stove itself isn't meant for these small cans. They obviously work, but having them both on at the same time, the cans, because of their size, their width, doesn't quite sit flush with the edge of the tank, so you have to have the cans hanging off the side just a bit. The grill is more appropriate for pans and pots than actually grilling. It's a camp stove, not a camp grill. So I have an old grill grate that I saved from an old gas grill. Fits on there perfectly, and I'm using that to cook the burgers. So that's the Coleman Campstove, the model TX850L. Not really a big hard thing, but I wanted to show you because for the first minute or two I looked at the stove. Since it's been a while since I've used it, I was scratching my head saying, how does this screw in? And I figured others might have the same question if they have a similar old stove that they've never used before. Okay, thanks for watching.